There is no importance in no extinction of the and so on, up to the important donation and no extinction of the Similarly, there is no sovereign origination, cessation, and power. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no knowledge. Shall we return the fall of those there is no attainment? Bodhisattvas rely on the 12 in perfection of wisdom, the mind without exploration and without feeling. Having this leading power beyond error, they reach the impossible of all the words you read 3 times, or something and be asleep completely awake to outside of the prayer that completed my heart, and relies on the perfection of wisdom. The ever the mantra of perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the endless path of the mantra equally and the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all subjects, to be not lose the truth, considers not false. The mantra of perfection of wisdom is declared. I am Gadi, Paradani, Parasanga, what you so have. So each other body self, a mind self, I was just trying to profound perfection of wisdom myself. Concentration, but the main one is self, but already else is before saying. But saying about the sun, it is like that, it is like that. Once you practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just even behaviors, even intelligence, rejoiceful. The body has spoken, the behavior share about the body self alone self to not as around in there, I think on the world of all students and servers like another. What are your yes,
Krishna, do you need to hold a bunch?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. 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 Dani Gyasum Chi Dani Chujin Gire Dola Rinje Sanje Doga Sanje Chodan Soji Chanu Chanjo Bado Dani Gyasum Chi Dani Chujin Gire Sam Dola Rinje Sanje Doga Sanje Chodan Soji Chanu Chanjo Bado Dani Gyasum Chi Dagi Jujin Jiri Zon Ye Do Sanje Do Shu Hangi Duze Nisore Dama Dunje Barbe Shire Dembe Shine Dende Bunam Dila Chate Chadon Gole Jibe Jibon Dona Jinda Bewa Sambe Sanje Don Bala Dela Tumba Jere Zena Chante No Bende Dele Lama Ramoch 다게 저거로 변되는데 저는 원래 좀 원래 좀 고선도 제무도 이 공사 쪽 잠겨 베제 대실로세 미지 시샤도에네 양양도 투바가고 총세네 도마 정말이야 삼르만 위에서로
Again, today we begin the Monday class, which entails defining this composition, opening the eye of new awareness in the context of again and again, I'm glad and welcome to all.
나도 뭐 군론데스 시콤냐라 다들이네 제베제 진다디 니야디 라니 지고데든 도야 마임바 나라 그린지 이체디게 파마니 제 심진신나 펜바 바식 도야 치데네 진다디 냠바다 삼바다 콤바치 sembe고네 군론 심베지 군론 심바지다 삼노 당고레스라
So first, assuming the correct motivation, meditating that from today, one will take part in this class, not just for oneself, but solely to benefit individuals with being kind to one like the parents of the self. And in that context, one will hear, reflect, and meditate with the mind enjoined with altruism. Champagne Eagle.
아야다 가오군라라더티니 네 안초직 돼야 그 그거 총화대 개와서 뭐 이섬 가오군고레스
Rejoice that today we had the good fortune to hear Dharma, so rejoicing in that.
아야다 저 그래서 몽골라데 팁디 유지를 배제티 티네마 로인데로 라오스음라 때니 니랑게 람르 추주 세스도와 다 라오스음디 네 주린이 라와 띵이니 셰르지 라와 스타틱 생에 망아서 라오스음이 고디 도셈바레와 네다 젤레데네 니랑게 람스디 니엔드 랑게 틱진 다 틱진데라 네 파르디침바다 네 두부상아 유파르침베 테과다 네 두부 상아 도지 테과스제 and design tijen de la design che ta lam go de ta de ne ma tu che ge ore serva ne jilanga go do zo ne ma jeli do jilra
We will follow the text, have some of you have it before you. So page 75. We left off looking at training activities, concentration and retention. And the text, chapter 7 says, the dependence on practicing these three special trainings, some people progress on the lesser vehicle path. So those three trainings that was mentioned, we went through before, dependence on that, one can traverse the hero, solitary realizes for great vehicle paths. The latter of which is divided into two, the causal perfection vehicle and the resultant tantric or mantric vehicle. So, the tantric part of it will come in later classes. Today we'll look at the paths.
da 아니 배낭은 저 다디 셰고랑 난저 실러 봐 실러 당한 저 두스타는 잠블링 지 미리 아니 더 지라 당한 다 먼저 뭐 스타일 잠블링 디다게 미다 튼로레로 안 두절레지 동해기란 신과 동해란 시스나다 동해 미추부이네 동해도 시구도 겨도 가와도 나와도 치와도 과에도 다 미교이나 연대제이나 가리나 다 동해 용어디 코란다디 동해 시와 샤스디 코와디 동해 그런 신 바로와 남부에다 흉내 시와 나신 너도 삼아 야고 싶다나 동해라시 레스타디 동해 용구요래 통구요래 디치바라 다데 수직이 단다 동해 요바디 단다 용 매우 소토고요 말다 들어봐 되는마 대전 당부대 상면 용고 동해 용고 단다
From the perspective of the basis, we look at the world and the beings in it. Well, those that we can directly see, humans and animals. It is the nature of it, whether they are wealthy, rich or poor, have knowledge or don't. They all have to go through experiencing the various sufferings and problems, birth, aging, sickness, and death. As it is said, no suffering. No suffering meaning that is the nature of cyclic existence. From the perspective of the Dharma, you see that as the nature. And so then not only seeing that, but beings experiencing that. So that existence of suffering is the first premise, or the first stage that all must experience. No.
We see the marks, not your marks, not the.
It's on your battery.
better maybe better
I think it is that.
다면도 언제데
On duty.
better probably 자자 기 되다서
Loyal, it is a loyal.
better is finish 어야 제자다 대전 이와 오는 건서 동해디라 삼로단단지 토네 아니 탑람 땅안저 남베슈네 셰게 지 공그림바다 로존다 타탄다 람링고 고도스마 삼로단지
Wow.
근데 진얘기 미지라이나 아니 동해디 파도게 동해디 용고에네 동해디 흉충하다 동해디 ane chi lam gu thos chi ya ta ta dungye la dene da dewa che sigma de dungye di kingye thosha do che je ro
Yeah,
kingye thosha do che je ne dungye lam di che was dungye di ne chi sim ge dungye shuk cher ma da mo che ane dungye khara ge ane ngara zu da che de menye ji ge dungye di shuk cher dan sha go ro 먼저 류기 내나들 주는다 배사서 말하면서 말라 내나들 이제 포선 삼제 배 수수 이뭐 류기 동에 그런 심이 동에 들어서 거라
yeah.
다 추게 냠lên 세월에 되네 류기 동에 돼 배나 지 권아에나 지나 라고나에 아무나에 나래다 지 거래나 류기 나자 주나 때다 용고 요래이나 대가는 심게 다데 동에데 용고요 말에 대 마음 맛에 다도 심나로 단도 류기 동에 요 되게 심나로 단도 지 가와지야 된대 당가라 레랭이 디디 타선시야로 아니 동랭이 냠네 치야 소로 된대 닝지 고미야 소로 된대 아니 동에 그런 시시야로 된대 된대 상당한데 아니 미디 로더 좀 찾아야다 류기 동에디 시충으로 다야 된대 연구요레 된대 연구요에 탐람되라 아니 먼저 동에서 탐람되라 람세다 다니에디 치우레스라
Not all. Okay, I hope you can hear now. Do I repeat that first bit?
요래 비비지
Repeat it? Okay, so the first part again. So if we look at the basis of this, we talked about having already gone through ethics, concentration, and wisdom, and that there are three vehicles for that. Here, a solitary realize a great vehicle, the latter of which is divided into the perfection vehicle on a causal level and the tantric vehicle on a resultant level. So then if we look at that on the basic constraint of our world and what we see directly, the beings that inhabit our world, humans and animals, it is the nature, whether one is rich or poor, educated or not, that one will have to go through the various sufferings and difficulties of birth, aging, sickness, and death. And as said, Buddha said, no suffering, meaning that from the perspective of Buddha Dharma, we know that the nature of cyclic existence is that, and we see that and we experience it. So that existence of suffering is the first stage we all must recognize. Because there's secondly, in the context of Buddha Dharma, we have to meditate and think on this, and we approach that by means of the sequential stages of the path, the Lam Rim, so that if you look at it and apply it from one person's practicing perspective, they can lessen that suffering and very much take the conditions of that suffering into the path. So although the person might be suffering physically, mentally, the suffering will not increase because they have this method. However, for people that aren't practicing a path particularly or are non-Buddhist, it could be the case that the body is indeed sick. You know, you experience physical problems, and the mind just makes that worse because there's no method. The mind adds on to it. However, for Buddhist practitioners of Dharma, they can have like sick body, sick back, sick limbs, whatever. Experience it, they must. But a mind is not perturbed by having to undergo that suffering and can in fact be a condition for bliss, this suffering, or to practice Tonglen, the taking and giving, to practice compassion, and also to understand that that suffering is just the nature of things. The negative karma is being exhausted, so therefore the person gets more courage, gets more courage undergoing those physical difficulties. And these methods we call a path. these methods to deal with these sufferings. We call it path, lam. Mhm.
당조 람게 탄다직 셰와 람 어느 람세데 카레스와 네 람세데 카레스라나 람게 친이요와 니중게 삼바 주마마임바심비 킴바스 니중게 삼베 니중게 삼베 베진 치레이라
Mhm.
삼베 니중 삼바 주마마임바 주마마임베 심바 주마마임베 심바 킴바 니중게 삼바 주마마임베 필리 삼바 예, 이중의 삼바. 네, 사이즈만 이중의 삼바치. 이중 셈지 요시. 이중의 셈디 좀 많이 받게 셈비 캠바지라. 람스라 요레스와.
So then we come to define a path. What is it? What is a valid path consciousness? It's defined as a valid knower or a valid consciousness with the uncontrived thought to definitely emerge. Sempa. So the mind is endowed with this quality of uncontrived definite emergence.
다 이중세 칸랭이와 중그레스나 아니 코발랭이와 중그레스와.
So we would ask, emerge from what? Emerge from the state of cyclic existence.
아니 이중 칸레 코발랭이와 중스기나 아니 코세디 카레스다나와 코발랭이와 칸랭이와 중스 코와데 아니 코바디 카레스 라위나 다단데 베제나라 데 송도데 코와시바니 내뇽왕기 시즌에 남에 파데 네 르라네스
La la la.
로메와 코에 사제녀와는 베 풍부 균기 차지라 아니 코와시그레스 다데 건수초거든 내지 코든지 된도 와라.
So then, what does it mean then to renounce or emerge from cyclic existence? Well, what is cyclic existence? As His Holiness puts it at the bottom of page 75. Cyclic existence refers to the continuum of mental and physical aggregates appropriated through contamination, in which, upon assuming a body due to contaminated actions and afflictive emotions, one powerlessly cycles. Wrong never.
다 레뇽왕기스 레다 뇽몽게로와 레시 뇽몽 베나 당 안한즈 단다레 당당 안즈 풍부 균지도와
Yeah.
안즈 풍부디 균 풍부데랑 안즈 풍부가여와
Mhm.
수공부 처뭐 뒤집어 뒤신남시 풍부 풍부하게 풍부가 단대랑 안즈 풍부가디 카레라 균도 디 카네요레라나 레다 뇽몽데 총어레라 윤디 다디 삼무시 당고라와 아니 베나 나라 네 루디 가르드네 총어레와 네 루디 녜렌 주디 다 밤에 구다래와 아래
Mhm.
다디디디나 유미 끼멜레 디 밤에 구다 때네 디 아니 밤에 구다 디야 야 밤마디 가족다 볼라 몰랄 디네 총어레와 도도도시 윤지 대형 것도 다 대자마세 아니 나래 디지 다 루디 윤디 다 데레 가져오래 밤말라 디네
Mhm.
추어래 정말 다에 셈기 균지여로 내가 풍부가여로 저거 뒤에 남시 풍부다 저거 풍부다 뒤시 풍부다 다 풍부 망고지 다 풍부 자세 망고지기 균디 경험을 균디는 막 용산 여러 돼요 아니 디 요야디 아니 규디 가래라디 레르디네 토레스 레세딩 저 저를 파도 지금 저 미토야요 말이야 와 샤워를 돼요 레세데 베나만즈 미직라 배 계저 cik도자지 계저 셰기나 나 팀을 미들 계저 미들 cik도 좀 하고 좀 삼바시도 알아 이거는 레드 사용 거래 아니 미질래야 펜도시 교회로 얘기네야 딜랑에 펜도 셰워서 딜랑에 에너지 계저하고 셰워서 딜랑에 펜도에 계저 셰워 되나 계저 디마셰고는 심나는 게 된지 셰워 되는데 심벨레 투자래 다딘데기 레디라 네 꾸롱 뭐마 뇽몬라 데네 총아슬레 제당한저다 덴데나 중이나 그 통매 말이 버사야디 그 꾸노레라고 좀 제대로 꾸농 차도 보죠 제가 딜라 데네 아니 레 니와 두지 레데 덴데나 중이 당보디 뇽모레 단지레 꾸롱 차지레 콜라야 굴롱 차지 요래 근데네 니버디 레샤레 펜지 레 레라 남베추 치우저로 레 펜지 레 두제 레서 오다 와 다딘데 게벨레 미게벨레 가벨레 나벨레 레 예와시 레 자다 제네 요요로 세상 안주 네 류데 레다 뇨모니게 아니 왕게스로 제가 디니지 왕게스 아니 시즌에 남에 이파드 류랑 다 단다디 균디 다 로고 또 스코르지 어디시고라 코드엔디로 왔다
Nara. So then, if we look at these 5 contaminated aggregates subject to clinging, they are caused by karma and disturbing emotions. So those form feelings, volitions or discriminating factors, and then consciousness, non-associated factors, and so forth. So all of these go to make the aggregates. And then if we examine them, we can think on the aggregates in terms of them being a continua or a continuum. So if you look at the form aggregate first, one's body, it doesn't come about by no cause. It is the product of the sperm and ova of the parents, which in turn can be traced to their parents, one's grandparents, and so forth. So that's the continuum of the body. But there's also a continuum of mind, which has these other attributes, consciousness, feeling, discriminations, and so forth. Here, the substantial cause of that, we have to look at past lives. And when we do that, this is where karma, or this interconnection with karma and other beings, comes into place. Because karma is not something that we can see. But for example, when one intends negatively and speaks badly, after that, the negative karmic speech is created, or conversely, one sets out to help others with a good intention and does good speech. So even before the words are spoken, the person has intended well and created karma. So as it says in the 12 links, most of our actions have an underlying motivation, which is like the first, that link of ignorance or self-grasping, and then lastly, that link of karma. Yeah. And then within, and just looking at karma, there is this formative karma, isn't there? There's karma that kind of throws, and then there's karma that accomplishes. So that second link, then, just karma, we can talk about so many types of that. Throwing karma, completing karma, virtuous karma, non-virtuous karma, black karma, white karma, like 108 types, or so many types of karma. But in short, it is important to know that our body is a product of karma and disturbing emotions. And His Holiness goes on to say, through that, one powerlessly cycles from the peak of cyclic existence to the most torturous hell. Name.
지난다 참 시즌에 남일라데 콜라보레이션 시즌 베나간도 남바게다 도리투 샤고로
Yeah.
아니 년도섬다 덴도섬 싱엔돌라 냐와이다 튼두체 밀할 하마이세 도리투체 아니 델라야다 정 감딜라 정 감수 감수 메감스 다 되바딜라 도리투가 요레와 냐와이다 튼두 디제데 되바코나레 되감 미에다 되바코나레 하딜라다 데 하단 하마이니가 되발라 요레 다드네 수컴세야딜라 하메시지기 다 로바신다 디게 요마레와 아니 수메칸 하레 다 수감딜라 삼데 당원이와 숨바시와체 수메딜라 수메 이동만도 도이로와 나가데 노지데 제메 시디시다 시바스도 코와서로와 되게 제모서로다 시바디가 통마디 제제들 셈 타슈에드 시고라 디 시지 만도 저 몸을렌 살들 만도 단도 친구 말음시로 헬라 저월레 야마 아니 냐와들라다 냐와마다 제 동해녀들 기술들 나르메서 보라 나르메네 시지 버르다 아니 season parduce season and name parduce
Yeah.
the parduce to that sounds on a mille jolly or to do jolly or nyole or idale or hale hamoyle or tangaya mare pardu lulan is that in the lulan is rame or cross that the chick to coach him for a rame was said Ananzola rama mare dandarwa ananzo leg ka function you did very music ananzo wa pena dandang ananzo 진짜 마트에 사는 저런 날씬나 돼야다. 리지몬 돼야 너 라마 열어라. 아니 다데네 배차잖아. 날씬에 only 남들나 주사스나나 아니 나도라 라마 열어 남들이 같이는 티도라 남들 다니 티도라. 디나시 당한서 남들나 주사라. 남들 다니 같이는 데 돼야 미지. 안한테는 라마 열어 어디나 지라버지 다 라메어서 레다 뉴모게 베 라메바라 코딩 조시기요 세상 하나도 동행료에 라마요 말에 레 산산도 되는 거라 네 제단다 라메와세디 아니 코딩 첨보래 단다디 동행된베라 체주라 레뇽지 시원진스기도 시원세디 콜라 라메윈자 시원레서 거라 당원에게 먼저 로미 탑단 주고 있는 대저고 월다 라마데 로 다디요 말다 나가서 라마요 말에서 라마메와 포토고 레서 월다
So now, in terms of you might be thinking how we cycle powerlessly, as it is said, as it was said here, from the peak of cyclic existence to the lowest hell of Vici. So then understanding that the premise of the 6 types of migrators, like 3 upper levels of migrators and 3 lower ones. The lower ones are hell beings, hungry ghosts and animals, and then the upper ones are humans, demigods and gods. So from the peak of cyclic existence to the lowest hell one cycles, you know, and so then we can further divide those into 3 realms, desire, form, and formless realms. The desire realm of which we can include all 6 types of transmigrators, but when we get into the form realm, that solely has the gods of the 4 concentration abodes, those 4 dhyanas or 4 concentration levels, first, second, third, and fourth, and then the formless gods are Ishla Shidi, the Angular Labda Shidi.
시거래 수kamme
Sukmekam.
남가타에 남시타에 지암이 시지스 남가타에 남시타에 지암이 시지스
All right, so those 4 then of the formless realm are, you know, those meditating on space, consciousness, nothingness, and the peak of cyclic existence. So once one gets to that peak, that's what His Holiness is referring to here, where we cycle from the peak of that God realm just mentioned right to the Avicii, the lowest hell. And this we have done countless times. This we have done countless times, cycling between those extremes and taking bodies in between. Not only that, but we have taken or attributed these bodies between those limits powerlessly, because we are at the behest of karma. This we have to accept. And what does this mean? This is a big meaning here. Powerless means that we are not free in terms of where we end up. So for example, you've come to this class, and when the class is over, you might decide to go to Richmond or Nelson. That's fine. But then you get on the plane, and the plane is bound to Auckland from Nelson. Well, you don't have a choice where the plane goes then. You've already bought your tickets. You must go to Auckland. We are just like that. We have a body appropriated by karma and disturbing emotions. Because we created the cause in that context, we have to experience the suffering result. Now, this is akin to the understanding the first truth, true sufferings, and what induces it, karma and disturbing emotions. In one sense, because we're humans, we should be free of that, but somehow as humans, we still experience it. No.
어디 로메오 코르베 삭제 세도와 삭제 세 삭바사디 뇽몬셰
No.
뇽몬나 제어서 제상 먼저 깨친제라 뇽몬님들라 레용 거다 거란주
야.
뇽몬스니디 lep사데 아니 뇽몬 젤레데 카레 런줄은데 간사 심규 마시와치 거라 뇽몬
Yeah.
심데 마지워서 거라 제상 먼저 심바 마지워 김제 카레 나도 질라님도 심바 지워 마서 심바 마지워서 님도 레데라 수레 뇽몬 심바 마지워서 니 치료데 미도서다 코육다 키게자다 미신도 좀 말다라 아니 심바 마지워서 니 간도 님도라 엘여된 저 뇽몬들 뇽몬게 아니 수수라지 타도 아제 딘신 안진 장진지 아지고 계신물에 산 뇽몬이 여사됐더니 자성뭐 쇼차거다 두두라라 캐는 로사면 줘줘 마 민지면 수진이세 아제 다데 유디 디 뇽몬이 제 야직직 슉처럼 처럼도 아니 미디 마지부 사로 또야 요 김젠 가레스나 이 사제 뇽몬다 제버레스 뇽몬이 제연디 아니 semba maji wadi yonde ko ta ngazu tigi semba maji wa yonde da semba maji wa senya ngara nyu mo de da asma ratwe na ngazu mi chilo lungten wa da mi la thongba la jare ja wa da inde ke gyumze yomara ro dezo da be nenga chamura
So the moment we are born, we are under this afflicted mental state, as it were. We're together with contamination or together with afflictions. No, my phone's not even there. So in that case, then what is it? Then that is afflicted. The definition of affliction is that which is not in line with so here's the connection. Often it is pride also. So in reality,
ne de nyole be tundu ni
and this, I think,
일반다 더 안에 호텔 코어티드 안에 여기 이제 콜링 있는 거죠 아니 먼저 여와 짐으로나 그 타발은 거지 타발다 근데 코올에 너는 더 더워서나 타발을 해서 이게 왜 지금에서는 아무도 더보라니 이스라엘이 파워는 Dende insan ne var diyor ki karaya layan diyor. Kore senin ne kadar düşünce, ne düşünce, ne düşünce, falan diye diyor.
What somehow is
Da sana dungin ne Jerome ini dah ini tu ini
others having something and you think, oh, I go to theater. It'd be great if I go to come to the there in here, pressure. Develop, so this alone. All of it feels happening. So when you guys have, you know,
Given, I need to do. Said Charles,
Standing there. So, in authentic awareness that seeks liberation develops, one is entered the hero part of the convention.
남들라 남마샤와 이제 참아니 때문에
Yeah, so we're going to look at the heroes side by
that's me. So I can use the definition to科学那里面就很多种呢，但这个木样嘛，现在看这个国物都上的逻辑很结构呢，真的，咱们就讲，这种嘛是，面对好吧，面对大众的嘛，现在是透过什么什么逻辑应用的，对了，面对超浪嘛，是不是是吧？咱们讲，
right. So the point at which one enters the hero's path of humility is this So if we take a bit deeper, then we see that liberation.
여기 보면 에, 그래서 자고 있는
very important. Meditate on the non-attractive attributes of placement, mindfulness. So that's very important to reduce the mental constructs we discussed before, and to understand, in doing meditation, what is the nature of the body, what's the history of the feeling of mind and phenomena. So that is all in line with the Lam and the great text set forward. And we've studied this a lot, and you've come to class a lot, but it's also important to do these meditations, otherwise there's no taste from the words.
Oh yeah, that. Don't do this a lot.
Because inside the three other
하고 돈이 무슨 잘 그. 이제 통구다 하면서 당기 깨자니 키 내려지셨어. 뭐서 통구다. 뭐 대난신이라고 저래. 또 tun지스 또 거데 가서 기계 거대에서 오시고 돈이 tun지스 중요한 다대에서 오시베나. 다데네 곰자인데 네 곰데 잠데 삼바다 말허르르데 추 중요하데 롱당데 내면은 추도 당로고도 먼저 셈욕과데 남도 추가 셈 생생이데 메나 셈 시바인데 셈 당화창으로 셈 당화셔데 유유도 무슨도 통한 거라 어딘데 유통이 무슨 통이들라 통남시 근데 내가 지금 발음도 지금 저 돈이들라는 저는 최로 때문에 최저 시제 발음 진도 거래서
Yeah. But then one. For example, the first level of heat. When one is close to a fire. One knows that one is getting close to seeing reality directly or seeing things directly. The current state, one is using a meaning generality or a generic image as a means to do that. An example we could give is solid or dirty water. What we see is dirty water. We don't see that the water's nature is clear, actually. So similarly, when we get closer to seeing things directly, and seeing water's true nature, then the generic image is becoming weaker. So to give another example, we hear a dog bark. We know it's a dog, but then we actually walk and then we see the dog directly. So we've relied on the generic image of the sound of the dog bark. And then when we actually see the dog, we go, oh, that's the dog that barked. So similarly, the mind, if the mind is not shaken or perturbed with wind, conceptual constructs, and it's peaceful and clear, the mind can perceive its object clearly and clearly. And then Tonglam, part of seeing is traversed now. Tonglam,
돈이 무슨 돈도 털람 차려 오라.
yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, when you see directly.
그럼 저 제모세야 돼. 당저 강아지 요 말에 같이 계좌 시에 켜고 시에이네 수수 쌤들라 이지로도 견에 털고 말하다.
Now, the second level of P is when one gets thorough conviction in cause and effect in its infallibility, so no one can convince you otherwise. No.
저 서버세. 다 서버 내가라 안 수수를 딩저 당황에 손에 계산 말했어 봐. 네 다다 연구를 네 손에 미기에 딩토고라 수동에서 용물을 때네. 네 손에 계다 네 손그 동에 연구에 제요 말다 간다로.
So then one gets the strong sign, one can no longer be born in the lower realms, like a proof or things like a proof or valid sign.
다 추저 내가 쓰는 돈용어선 통화는 녀와 추구초 직된배 추구초 직된바서는 다 되는 직된배 추구초 통마선자는 추저스라라.
Yeah, and supreme mundane qualities here, one has reached the apex or peak of psychic before you cross.
네, 라그도 이제 천랑인데 지를 탐지도 전랑 추의 점서와 추저 시유베스 대다수의 값을電子 특권이라 미베 공중지 시를 켜와지 림신 독세자 동시 특권이라 동시 동반이라 미베 아니 공중지 시를 켜와지 또 미다동에 또 담에서 그 남베 튠지라 세나 켜와지 정세자 튠지 강경에 남사가 튠지를 세나 중세야 되랬다. 다 튠지기 빼된도서 대 춘욕벌을 하는 약쇼래와 추디 마마마 칼레 탄생패로 나시 저 유신야데 셀도 안 타마들라 뱃다 추디 탕 차안데 안디나라 냐다 도다 참모 통구도 지난시 돈이 무슨 통인데는 뭐 내로다 뭐본 뭐네디 다 돈이 또 통로는 신기해 말이다. 시딩은 또 떠보jenjan 로데다 다른 거는 또 똑바가는 로데라 저 소람저람도 있나 똑바가는 로데게라 다 돈런도스는 아니 배다 오늘 주딩이 냐다 주도다 참모 통고요라 다 뒤모베네 중원에 되네 신기하다.
So, bottom of page 76, it was mentioned. After that, at the time of the path preparation, not only does one have all types of the qualities of the path accumulation to a great extent than before, but one also gradually attains special wisdoms arisen from meditation observing suchness of the Four Noble Truths, They've got a sheet on the occasions of the four levels of that path. Heat, peak, forbearance, supreme mundane qualities. Through that, special clear appearances of the meaning generalities, as I mentioned, generic images, of the aspects of impermanence, misery, emptiness, unselflessness, and so on arise. So, this called, yes, so the best example of this is the solid water. So the meaning generalities are relied upon, such as the water is impure and dirty, and then slowly they become weaker until, like a clear body of water, one can see stones and fish and so forth that are in it. And then there's that.
지난다 동니 무슨 통원도 통람차 다데네 니 연대 망고 쉽지 토용 거래 봐 연대 가르쳐 버려서나 니 지델렌데벨람 당아도 덴바시는 게 람데세스도 봐
Yeah.
람디 디네 두고 다 덴바시는 게 람데세스도 봐 근데 동니 무슨 돈이 통람들 람데스 거래 안데 다 군조 숨는 게 초군조 되래 봐 제산다 안데다 녀모 통방 녀모 그 원예시도 다 거 가서는 유문에 대신 인상 아니 거다 유친지로 다니들라 로들라 내가 당두고 여러 중재 되랬다
And then the path of seeing, measure with that is obtaining a true path, and also that second jewel, the Dharma jewel. Here, one's qualities are inconceivable because one can see the object in its nature directly and can see these invalid slips of mind and antidoteness.
어디지 되네다 뭐라도 디줄님의 간사한 속으로 미디 파베 간사 나 군조 숨는 긴두 군조라지도 대다 안 단계게 람데 돈님무서도 니들 군조 숨는 게 최군조로 와 다 남고 산제베게 먼저 지 군조 숨이 남샤데 싱어베네줄라 여된 교지 아니 계제시 버면시 싱어베네줄라 매된 교지 겹치그레스 시기요 말에 제가 최군조 짱무인이라고 좀전 가르스나 다 된대게 람덴데게 아니 장주게 녀모 데라 응원예제제 녀모 라미게베 최진신이 다 녀모 리지 빵도 해요. 대배 방단데 배데 자와 사면데 제외 되는 거죠. 메도도 신도는 짜고 샤고로 짜고는 지면도 되는시 제가 아니 되게 동해세도 요인다. 최군조 짱무레스다. 금전되게 최군조 짱무에서 요시도 금전되다.
Then, with the attainment of that true path and actualization of that truth of Dharma, second Dharma jewel, one thereby attains the qualities of the superior. One also becomes an ultimate spiritual community. So, because one sees things as they are, as it is, one cannot see otherwise, and one becomes a noble being, and then that second jewel is actualized within one's mental continuum. Here, it is a state whereby the mind can no longer be together with reflection again. So part of the mind, those reflections have completely gone and cannot return, similar to uprooting a plant from the seed that it cannot grow back.
어디지? 다들이
Oh, sorry. And that is why it is often said of the three rare sublime ones, what affords protection really is the second Dharma jewel of the jewel of the Dharma.
다들이 먼저 디네야 내가 지금 뭐도래 람지 친이도래 아니 커버스야 되게 텐셔와 근데 내가 년도지 총람 저랑 통람 권람 되나라 다 단당한서 년도 총람지 네 값이 냠내 지야 그래이메 년도 총람이 내가 서 냠내 지야 그래이메 다 디게 디가서 도저 신고여라 도저 람지 구림 타마노 오마노 남린 곰곰세야 도저 곰제로다 디게 마 곰제네 그 수수심디 디나라 도두고도 왜 다이로와
Tonight, we've been through some important bits, parts like the definition of a path, what does cyclic existence mean? And then we looked at the paths of a pure accumulation, preparation, seeing, meditation, no more learning, and also the steps or the sequences upon which they train in those. And then those are very important to know in terms of the long run because we have to meditate on them.
대나네 당한서 곰자데 우중을 되네 곰자 아니 스스 류르미 초아 셈 쉐 그래서다 곰자 위나 배워로 아테네 아니지 류지라시디 미다와인 바르바 미자와인 바 미다와인 바 동와인 바 다메인 바 동바니 뭐디 동바니 바 뭐디 다메인 바 뭐디 미자와인 바 뭐디 미다와인 바 도서 당고인의 주디 들어봐도 시 돕나 아니 나 개지주디 말한저 발서 그랬다 셈디라 다지 곰시로지 이 서제다 바자로 바자 투부지 샤도야 중년이 남줄게 대마제나 베 라운게 근데기지 추그 바자디 아버지 샤도이나 네 바자의 얘기 최대 러면도 아직 암저 거와장을면서 심랑 초리하게 최도 정도 겨우만 바자에 따라 다 암전을 같이 거는 초진 레면 유지도 다디 겨우만에 바자요 말에 최대래 쇼지 먼저 들라 덴신로 딱 가서 뉴 터나로 제요 뭐라 나 터나 지기나 고 추기 찍도서 왜 진압천보다 누버천보서 초와 심나는 초와 되그라로 근데 초와 때나 근데 바자 두고 샤로 그래서
So it's important in this breath meditation and that we can join it with the meditations on mindfulness of body, feeling, mind, dharma, even just looking at body, understanding the body is impermanent, unclean, empty, and in the nature of non-self. The body's entity is that it's impure, impermanent. The body's entity is that it's impermanent. The body's entity is that it's unclean. Its entity is that it is empty, and its entity is that it's in the nature of non-self. This is the reality. It's very important we know that. And it's important to know that and meditate on it by planting imprints or thick imprints of Dharma, because then such a mind won't be like any other mind, and that when you hear it in the future, at once you will understand it and the meaning will be clear. Some people, however much they hear Dharma, it just creates tension and they can't get the meaning. It's very important in that context that when we study, we get some feeling so that we can place thick imprint.
뭐야 다들 샤라
So for this day,
question to
Is intention a result of karma?
tension.
Intention. Is intention a result of karma? Intentions, or are our intentions free will? Or are our intentions a result of karma, or are they free will?
colors
Are our intentions a result of karma or are our intentions free will?
Yeah.
먼저 굴렁담 lay knew the drilling would be. Young men free will. What's that? I don't understand.
Well, is it a result of karma? Like, are we, is it?
What could be
a result
not
of
karma?
karma?
What's the question? Free will. Free will means?
Well, who has a choice, or is it just karma?
Intimately Lego young men
Sorry, the question was, is intention a result of karma, or are our intentions free will?
Yeah. Gisela intention karma. And so Coulomb what?
A result of karma. Isn't it?
Leila tiene Coulomb yorga young men in a douche. Petit nipa imbere. You're not tuning on the douche what is. Lay says the being and the round yomar what? You wrong with what? The lay down douching you the devil you are young men are the lady. I'm not getting the question.
Karma,
Not clear.
karma is free will, isn't it?
No, that's the
Karma
difference.
is action.
When people say free will,
What
it's
do they
not,
mean?
it's not cause or effect. of
Ale,
previous harm.
okay, legende yomar is based on.
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Legende yo
Legende never
Yeah,
douche yoris.
It means you have a choice that isn't dependent on previous.
ale
Le sisu dangar sisu choice sisu douche wa. Ti lay down yemong mayemba yinking yori base. Douche.
yori di yongro le da nyu ma yin ge du shi pena le se de lo gulung de do gro gulung ke second ji je le cha do gro tu zu ke yo ma le baro la wa ani le ma yin ge du shi yori se gore
Yeah, lay mayemba ki kula yori base.
yode ge wa ge pena ngo lam ge gulung wa chanju sing ge gulung de so ani ta ale 꿀ung 예절로데 레라 도가제 이마래 롱마데 로아데 꿀ung 예절레 레라 도고 마라 꿀ung 레라 도니데 꿀ung 데 숙첨보제 메제 꿀ung 예절로데 레라 도에 차요 마레스타
So there's the motivation, and then the second instant or the second moment it becomes karma after that. But not all karma have intention, like some are neutral, but not all have. And not all karmas are positive, negative, some are neutral.
로아다 꿀ung 레라 도니데 데 꿀ung 숙첨보데 저게 심정 심발 레라 도고 이기라다
When we talk about karma, it's actually very. Didang yena nipa di dushiti drop do it.
다다 저 편지지 내서 내 누가 전부라 되게 아니 꿀ung 마리고 제 톱침보 feura
Here, that when we use the word intention, like the second of those 12 links, it is a branch of karma. It's the same thing. So actually, because there's throwing karma and completing karma. So we're using this intention and karma in the same way. So it was mentioned that for karma to be accrued, the mental intention has to be quite strong, has to be.
지루해다
Yeah, lay some, and then kulong to share tumubor, right?
요리 그거
Yeah,
Never.
for karma to be accrued, accumulated, the mental intention has to be.
레디게 데우슈크 지존데 꿀ung시 주요나
Yeah,
라려다
but or in terms of karma, we can see how strong the motivation was by looking at the result and then seeing, what was the motivation behind it.
레 슈크체와 레 찌기 겨왕압절 겨war낸 거야 근데 동네 베디 거야
A strong karmic action can fling 500 birds as a result.
근데 레데 슈크체무 쇼로
So
와
that's what you would say is strong karma from him.
레 슈크체무 라야 될래야 좀제 상담 망고여 꿀ung 조시 무시 세도 시 또데 요왕도 레도 먼저지 소소 판마다 게겐다 구승 투된 텐델라 덴베 게벨레디나 또 좀 사그래 Tigbele ina to chimbo sago res, ro. Ten dene, ro.
So then we look at those intended actions or karmas being strong or not in terms of all of those four qualifying things being present. Like basis, basis, intention, performance, and dedication. So for example, also, if you're doing actions towards one's parents or the three-year-old, it becomes commensurately virtuous or non-virtuous to the no.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Yes.
Could you just please clarify what are the five powers? And whether the five powers in this book are different from what was put on the Sunday sheet.
Thanks. So what page is it?
Ne tom ngala dro.
Yeah,
Five powers?
oh,
Just ask yourself what are five powers.
that's a whole different thing. But that's from the 37 limbs. Is that your question? Yeah.
I
It's
understand
like
what
Chanchugi yin la. So this is a doing right.
Hmm.
Tinang no tonga down the Sanima no tonga.
Kel to lo war.
That's different.
Danda di ngozo sanyi me tom nga se di dan thande to di to be lo war de la tebe to jundu to ding zu. Di to de ma ja di sim jen ya ro thande di tom nga di.
Right. So the five powers we're going through on Sunday, and these five powers mentioned here are completely different. These five powers are like the power of faith, the power of concentration. Right.
Ngo de sim jen ya.
They're all minds, they're all consciousnesses, but not the ones on Sunday.
the ones on Sunday are.
And Sanimagi Tonga,
Di ro pembe to kabo seven to kombe to sunjime to ngowe to
yeah,
di ro.
the five on Sunday are the power of intention, the power of virtue, the power of repudiation, familiarity, and the power of dedication. They're different from these.
Ngale yo.
Yeah.
Di tom nga di nge je la de dunda jema de se wich la khota.
Yeah, so those five in this text will come in a subsequent week, clearly.
Ombo nga to nga se.
Yeah, five powers. Five.
So jolam ji ne gab sinyam ni chera.
Yeah,
Sure.
these are cultivators from path preparation.
Jolam ki.
Yeah, John.
Okay. No, question finish. If you have question, I'm okay. I'm no. Made no, I'm okay. Yeah, okay, stop here now.
These are the merits of the
Yo,
And now offering. Sanje.
Okay.
Je me do da re ra ni shi ni ni jima. Sanje shin de ni de ro ai. Ro na da shin ma jo ba sho.
Jetson, like Jose Raptanishin.
Nuga din le jo ju je wa tang. San ten e do me sa san shi. E mu se da do ni yu ji.
Due to the merit of protection, mind could retain the section of the Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into that of 90%. When it's a premature body preserve it not with all rights of work, and may that which has arisen not diminished, but increased form. Whatever slight positive position I may have created, by paying homage, offering, and acknowledging my faults, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I now giving people that life will awakening. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with dedication, praise is the best. By the victorious one, self gone of the 3 times, that I might perform the noble work of the May the King of Almas on top of way south. May the obstacle be passed by, the Lord Jesus, the wish that was the door, Lord of the single therapist and happiness in this world. The end of proudly kind tears and depths and legacies. Pray all the holy wishes on faith. Savior of the slow and teachings and transmigration. Who makes extremely clear the path and signification of emptiness and compassion. The lotus knowledge and in depths I beseech. All your wishes to be spontaneous and fulfilled. New alcohol, the situation tomorrow away, and services of gospel burial. The same
Planning.
represents the union of Victoria's Princess, who massively accomplished magnificent prayers honoring their individuals. They would myself now that your design, please, swiftly return. I rely on the two accumulations of myself and others in the free time. May the teaching of the conqueror, Lord Saint Crowther, blessed or long come. And allow me very please, for free time with you. We always teach and the same way, children of the victorious ones. Drive because they're repeated orders. Victorious Lord Saint Father and Sons, along with the lineage masters. All we offer the refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishments, pray as they are now. Holy and spreading the money, pray that they teaching. Through explanation and practice, you will be out of patience, as in the goes. You know, proud of an equal group, you are made place. While striving to complain for the sake of victorious one's teaching. The sole gateway to which all the benefits of happiness and murder. The form of a living being, you sadly demand the pierce of what a great love. Nevertheless, through the unceasing truth of the blessings of the ocean of the free jewels. The very ways to which you dealt the children of victorious ones. May the smile of reincarnation swiftly be on board of teaching.
Okay, good night. How, you know?